ये आकाशवाणी है। अब आप कनकलता से समाचार सुनिए। झारखंड विधानसभा चुनाव के 5वें और अंतिम चरण का प्रचार आज शाम समाप्त हो रहा है। इस चरण में संथाल परगना के 16 निर्वाचन क्षेत्रों में शुक्रवार को वोट डाले जाएंगे। ये निर्वाचन क्षेत्र साहिबगंज, पाकुड़, दुमका, जामताड़ा, देवघर और गोड्डा जिलों में हैं। 5 निर्वाचन क्षेत्रों बोरियो, बरहट, लिट्टीपाड़ा, महेशपुर और शिकारीपुरा में प्रचार दिन के 3 बजे समाप्त होगा, जबकि 11 निर्वाचन क्षेत्रों में शाम 5 बजे तक चलेगा। भारतीय जनता पार्टी, कांग्रेस, झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा, झारखंड विकास मोर्चा और ऑल झारखंड स्टूडेंट्स यूनियन सहित विभिन्न राजनीतिक दलों के नेता प्रचार में लगे हुए हैं। जीएसटी परिषद की आज नई दिल्ली में बैठक होगी। बैठक में राजस्व संग्रह बढ़ाने के लिए कर ढांचे की समीक्षा किए जाने की संभावना है। वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारामन बैठक की अध्यक्षता करेंगी। जीएसटी के राजस्व संग्रह में पिछले वर्ष नवंबर की तुलना में इस वर्ष 6% की बढ़ोतरी दर्ज हुई। इस वर्ष नवंबर में कुल 1,03,492 करोड़ रुपए का राजस्व एकत्र किया गया। इस बैठक से पहले केंद्र ने राज्य और केंद्र शासित प्रदेशों को 35,298 करोड़ रुपए का जीएसटी मुआवजा जारी किया है। सरकार ने स्थानीय दुकानदारों के लिए जीईएम संवाद नाम से नया ई वाणिज्य पोर्टल शुरू किया है। ये पोर्टल स्थानीय दुकानदारों तक पहुंच बनाने का राष्ट्रीय कार्यक्रम है। इसकी शुरुआत वाणिज्य सचिव अनूप वधावन ने कल नई दिल्ली में की। ये कार्यक्रम अगले वर्ष 17 फरवरी तक होगा और इसमें देश के सभी राज्य और केंद्र शासित प्रदेश शामिल होंगे। उपराष्ट्रपति एम वेंकैया नायडू ने कहा है कि नए भारत का निर्माण एक समावेशी प्रक्रिया होना चाहिए। उन्होंने लोगों का आह्वान किया कि वे इसे हासिल करने के लिए निरंतर प्रयास करें। नई दिल्ली में 6ठी रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर स्मृति व्याख्यानमाला में उपराष्ट्रपति वेंकैया नायडू ने कहा कि प्रधानमंत्री ने नए भारत की रूपरेखा तैयार की है और वे 2022 तक नया और जीवंत भारत बनाने के लिए प्रयास करेंगे। केंद्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा बोर्ड सीबीएसई ने वर्तमान शैक्षिक सत्र की 10वीं और 12वीं की बोर्ड परीक्षाओं की तिथियों की घोषणा कर दी है। 10वीं की परीक्षाएं 15 फरवरी से 20 मार्च तक और 12वीं की परीक्षाएं 15 फरवरी से 30 मार्च तक चलेंगी। विद्यार्थी बोर्ड की परीक्षाओं की डेटशीट केंद्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा बोर्ड की वेबसाइट पर cbse.nic.in पर देख सकते हैं। भारत और अमेरिका आज वॉशिंगटन में मंत्री स्तरीय 2+2 वार्ता करेंगे। इस वार्ता में दोनों देशों के बीच क्षेत्रीय और वैश्विक मुद्दों पर विचार विमर्श की संभावना है। विदेश मंत्री एस जयशंकर और रक्षा मंत्री राजनाथ सिंह बैठक में भारतीय पक्ष का नेतृत्व करेंगे। अमेरिका की ओर से विदेश मंत्री माइक पोम्पियो और रक्षा मंत्री मार्क एस्पर इस बातचीत में अमेरिका का प्रतिनिधित्व करेंगे। दोनों देश औद्योगिक सुरक्षा अनुबंध के एक ऐसे सक्षम समझौते पर हस्ताक्षर करने की घोषणा कर सकते हैं जो रक्षा उपकरणों के अमेरिकी निर्माताओं को भारतीय निजी क्षेत्र की कंपनियों के साथ काम करने की अनुमति देगा। जाने माने अभिनेता डॉक्टर श्रीराम लागू का कल देर रात वृद्धावस्था संबंधी बीमारियों के चलते पुणे में निधन हो गया। वे 92 वर्ष के थे। सूचना तथा प्रसारण मंत्री प्रकाश जावड़ेकर ने महान कलाकार श्रीराम लागू को श्रद्धांजलि दी है। एक ट्वीट में उन्होंने कहा कि देश ने बहुमुखी व्यक्तित्व खो दिया है। श्री जावड़ेकर ने कहा कि विलक्षण प्रतिभा के धनी रंगमंच कलाकार ने भारतीय सिनेमा में भी समान उपलब्धि हासिल की। वे समर्पित समाज सेवक भी थे। भारत और वेस्टइंडीज के बीच 3 एकदिवसीय क्रिकेट मैचों की श्रृंखला का दूसरा मैच आज विशाखापत्तनम में खेला जाएगा। मैच दोपहर बाद 1:30 बजे से शुरू होगा। आकाशवाणी से इसका आंखों देखा हाल राजधानी एफएम रेनबो और अतिरिक्त मीटरों पर उपलब्ध रहेगा। चेन्नई में पहला एकदिवसीय मैच जीतकर वेस्टइंडीज श्रृंखला में 1-0 से आगे है। भारतीय टीम 17 वर्ष से कम उम्र की लड़कियों के फुटबॉल टूर्नामेंट के फाइनल में पहुंच गई है। मुंबई में कल अंतिम लीग मैच में भारतीय टीम ने थाईलैंड को 1-0 से पराजित किया। फाइनल में कल भारत का सामना स्वीडन से होगा। इसके साथ ही ये समाचार बुलेटिन समाप्त हुआ।
Welcome to our program International News, where we bring you news from across the globe. I am Sarabjit Kaur.
And I am Renu Kataria.
The headlines. India, US to hold 2+2 ministerial dialogue in Washington today. UN chief urges world to share refugee burden equitably. 16 civilians killed in Syria airstrikes. In under-17 tournament, Indian women football team defeats Thailand, enters final. And Gully Boy out of Oscar race as Academy unveils shortlists for 9 categories. India and the US will today hold 2+2 ministerial dialogue in Washington, where the two countries are likely to exchange views on regional and global issues. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will lead the Indian side, while Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Secretary of Defence Mark Esper will represent the US at the meeting. Some key agreements are likely to be signed between the two countries to augment bilateral security ties. The two nations are expected to announce the signing of the Industrial Security Annex, an enabling pact that will allow American manufacturers of defense equipment to work with the Indian private sector companies. MEA spokesperson Ravish Kumar said the dialogue was initiated last year to provide a positive and forward-looking vision for India-US strategic partnership.
The India-US 2+2 ministerial dialogue was initiated in September 2018 in order to provide a positive, forward-looking vision for the India-US strategic partnership and to promote synergy in our diplomatic and security efforts. Since the inaugural edition of this dialogue, relations between India and the US have further expanded. The 2+2 dialogue will take stock of these growing relations and provide strategic guidance for the further development of the relationship.
In United States, 4 people were killed and a dozen injured in a swarm of tornadoes and other storms that left a trail of destruction across the southeast yesterday. The death toll rose to 4 after heavy overnight rains caused flooding in Greenup County, Kentucky. National Weather Service teams confirmed at least 18 tornado paths in Louisiana, Mississippi and Alabama, and the number could rise since teams were still surveying damage. More than 240 tornado warnings were tweeted for the region over roughly 21 hours starting early Monday. Chief of Staff at the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency told a news conference that at least 25 counties were affected, 150 homes were reported damaged or destroyed, and about a dozen were injured. The numbers are likely to grow. U.S. President Donald Trump has written a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi seeking to halt impeachment proceedings against him by the lower chamber of the Congress. The House is set to start the process with a debate today. In the letter, President Trump said the impeachment represents an unprecedented and unconstitutional abuse of power by Democrat lawmakers unequaled in nearly 2.5 centuries of the American legislative history. He asserted that the articles of impeachment introduced by the House Judiciary Committee are not recognizable under any standard of constitutional theory, interpretation, or jurisprudence. Trump said they include no crimes, no misdemeanors, and no offenses whatsoever. He added that he had been deprived of a basic constitutional due process from the beginning. In the United States, a judge has ruled that former National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden violated secrecy agreements with the government that allow it to claim proceeds from a memoir he published earlier this year. Snowden was charged under the U.S. Espionage Act. He now lives in Russia in order to avoid arrest. U.S. District Judge Lym O'Grady in Alexandria, Virginia, ruled that Snowden is liable for breach of contract with the government because he published the book Permanent Record without submitting it for a pre-publication review. This is in violation of agreements he signed with both the NSA and the Central Intelligence Agency. In the book, Snowden explains how he viewed himself as a whistleblower by revealing details about the government's mass collection of emails, phone calls, and internet activity in the name of national security.
United States has said that it opposes a draft resolution proposed by China and Russia that would terminate UN sanctions on key North Korean exports. The US called the measure premature at a time when Pyongyang is taking provocative actions and is refusing to meet with US officials to discuss denuclearization. The US State Department said President Donald Trump remains committed to making progress towards commitments he made with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at their first summit in Singapore in June 2018. The draft resolution circulated to UN Security Council members would terminate sanctions on North Korean exports, including textiles, seafood, and statues, with the intent of enhancing the livelihood of the civilian population. It would also lift a ban on North Koreans working overseas and terminate a decision to repatriate all those earning income abroad by December 22nd. China and Russia made these and other proposals 16 days before Kim's end of December deadline for the United States to come up with new proposals to revive nuclear diplomacy. Negotiations faltered after the US rejected North Korean demands for broad sanctions relief in exchange for a partial surrender of the North Korea's capability at Kim's second summit with Trump last February. US Defense Secretary Mark Esper has said he wants an explanation from Ankara over threats to close two strategic military bases used by the United States in Turkey. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Sunday had threatened to close the Irigik and Kurusik bases while speaking to a pro-government television channel. The two bases sit on Turkey's southwest coast near the border with Syria. The US Air Force uses the airbase at Isirik for raids on positions held by the Islamic State IS group in Syria. The Kurusik base houses a major NATO radar station. Esper told reporters that he would need to speak to his counterpart, Defense Minister Hulusi Akar, to understand what they really mean. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You are listening to our program International News, where we bring you news from across the globe. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more updates from across the world.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called on countries to take joint responsibility to care for a surging number of displaced people. In his opening speech to the Global Refugee Forum in Geneva yesterday, Guterres said it is a moment to build a more equitable response to the refugee crisis through a sharing of responsibility. The forum will end today. It begins exactly a year after the UN General Assembly adopted a framework aimed at creating a more predictable and equitable approach to providing assistance to refugees and host communities. The meeting is the first of its kind, pulling together heads of state, government ministers, but also business leaders, humanitarians, and refugees themselves to offer ideas and pledges for more efficient support. At the end of 2018, nearly 71 million people were living in forced displacement due to war, violence, and persecution, including nearly 26 million people who had fled across borders as refugees. In Sri Lanka, amidst infighting in United National Party UNP, its deputy leader Sajith Premadasa has said he would not contest the next parliamentary election as the prime ministerial candidate if he is not made the party leader. Speaking at an event, Mr. Premadasa also said that he is prepared to step back if majority in the party do not want him. Premadasa, who contested and lost the last month's presidential election, said that he will take fully responsibility of the outcome of the election. He said that his initial stand was that he will contest the presidential election only if he is made the UNP leader, but he contested without it. Mr. Premadasa said that he will not attempt to take any personal decisions regarding his future in the party. His comments came as UNP is divided on the issue of party leadership, with a faction demanding the current leader Ranil Wickremesinghe be replaced by Premadasa. The latter has already been nominated leader of the opposition after there was a change in government last month following victory of Gotabaya Rajapaksa against Premadasa. Premadasa has maintained silence so far, but his supporters have been demanding his elevation as UNP party leader.
Dubai police has announced the arrest of Interpol-listed international fugitive Ridwan Taghi. Described as a dangerous criminal by Dutch police, Taghi is the leader of Angels of Death, a criminal cartel operating in Europe and Africa. The arrest of the accused, who was staying in a residential villa in Dubai, was made possible through a successful cooperation between Dubai Police, the Netherlands Police and the Interpol. Dubai Police said several international arrest warrants were issued against the accused last year on charges of belonging to a criminal cartel. Pope Francis has abolished the pontifical secret used in clergy sexual abuse cases after mounting criticism. The high degree of confidentiality has been used to protect pedophile science victims and keep law enforcement from investigating crimes. In a new document, Francis decreed that information in abuse cases must be protected by church leaders to ensure its security, integrity, and confidentiality. The new law was issued today on Francis' 83rd birthday as he struggles to respond to the global explosion of the abuse scandal. The Vatican had long insisted that confidentiality was necessary to protect the privacy of the victim, the reputation of the accused, and the integrity of the canonical process.
Pakistan's former dictator Pervez Musharraf was sentenced to death in a case of treason for subverting the constitution. This is the first time in Pakistan's history that a military chief has been declared guilty of high treason and handed the death sentence. A three-member bench of a special court headed by Peshawar High Court Chief Justice Waqar Ahmed Said found the ailing 76-year-old former army chief guilty of high treason and handed him the death sentence. Before issuing the verdict, the court rejected a plea by the prosecutors to delay the verdict. Musharraf is currently living in Dubai on self-exile. The former army chief left for Dubai for medical treatment in March 2016 and has not returned since, citing security and health reasons. His indictment for treason was a highly significant moment in a country where the powerful military has held sway for much of its independent history. Musharraf seized power by ousting then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif in a 1999 bloodless coup. He has also served as Pakistan's president from 2001 to 2008. He was sentenced for suspending the constitution and imposing extra constitutional emergency in 2007. In a video statement from his hospital bed, Musharraf called the treason case absolutely baseless. His legal team can appeal the verdict in the Supreme Court. If the top court upholds the special court's verdict, the President of Pakistan possesses the constitutional authority under Article 45 to pardon a death row defendant. New Zealand police have completed the identification of the 18 victims of the White Island volcano more than a week after it erupted. The names and nationalities of 17 people have been released, but one person who died in an Australian hospital was not publicly named. Two of those named are still missing. They are presumed to be dead near the island. Poor weather has forced police to postpone the search for them. There were 47 people on the island when the eruption took place last Monday. About 20 people still remain in intensive care with severe burns, including a 19-year-old, the only member of his family who is thought to have survived.
A controversy has erupted in Bangladesh over the list of collaborators who helped Pakistan during the Liberation War of 1971. The first list of 10,789 names of the collaborators known as Razakars was published on Sunday by the Ministry of Liberation War Affairs. Soon afterwards, it was found that the list contained names of some of the Liberation War fighters or Muktijoras as Razakars. According to media reports, public protests erupted in places like Barguna against the inclusion of the name of a prominent freedom fighter from the area in the Razakar list. Accepting the responsibility for the error, Liberation War Affairs Minister AKM Mozammel Haq said in Dhaka that if there are a large number of mistakes in the list, the ministry will withdraw it. He, however, pointed out that the list was not prepared by his ministry and it was provided by the Home Ministry. Meanwhile, Home Minister Azaduzman Khan Kamal said the Liberation War Affairs Ministry should have properly scrutinized the list of Razakars before publishing it. Razakar was a militia force formed by the Pakistan military through an ordinance promulgated in 1971 to help the army suppress any rebellion in the then West Pakistan. Razakars colluded with the Pakistan army to engage in rape, murder and looting of Bangladeshi people who were fighting the liberation war. There has been a persistent demand in Bangladesh to publish the list of the Pakistani collaborators or Razakars. The US Congress last night voted to lift a decades-long arms embargo on Cyprus, defying Turkey by seeking warmer ties at a time of renewed tensions. The Senate approved the measure as part of a massive defense spending bill that passed 86-8 and already went through the House of Representatives, with President Donald Trump likely to sign it. Under the new act, the United States will still restrict certain initiative technologies to Cyprus unless the US certifies that the island is denying Russia military vessels port access for refueling and servicing. US officials have been concerned that the ban has brought EU member Cyprus closer to Russia, with the island in 2015 signing off on an access deal to its ports. The United States imposed an embargo on the full island in 1987 with an aim to prevent an arms race and encourage a peaceful settlement between the Greek majority and Turkish minority.
In Syria, at least 16 civilians have been killed in airstrikes and artillery shelling amid intensified violence in rebel-held areas of northwestern part of the country. According to media reports, the bombardments hit 3 villages in Idlib province. Increased strikes targeting Idlib province in recent weeks seem to indicate that Syrian government's forces are preparing for a ground offensive. Idlib province is dominated by Al-Qaeda-linked militants. The 44th International Kolkata Book Fair will start on the 29th of next month. The focal theme country of this year's fair is Russia. Besides publishers from the country, 29 publishers from abroad will participate in the 11-day long fair. The 200th birth anniversary of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar will be celebrated. The 7th Kolkata Literature Festival will also be organized during the book fair. The logo of the 44th International Kolkata Book Fair was inaugurated in presence of Alexei Idamkin, Consul General of Russia in Kolkata. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, visit our News on AIR app and follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts. You can also visit our website www.newsonair.com and our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You are listening to our program International News, where we bring you news from across the globe. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more updates from across the world.
In cricket, the second one-day international of the 3-match series between India and the West Indies will be played in Visakhapatnam today. The match will start at 1:30 p.m. All India Radio will broadcast live commentary on the match alternately in Hindi and English. It can be heard on Rajdhani, FM Rainbow and additional frequencies from 1 p.m. onwards. The Caribbeans have a 1-0 lead after winning the first ODI in Chennai. In football, Indian women entered the final of Three-Nation Under-17 tournament in Mumbai last evening. Hosts edged out Thailand 1-0 in the last round-robin game. India will take on Sweden in the final tomorrow.
India opener Smriti Mandhana was yesterday named in both the International Cricket Council's ODI and T20 Teams of the Year, capping off a memorable season. Mandhana has Jhulan Goswami, Poonam Yadav and Shikha Pandey for company in the ODI Team of the Year and all-rounder Deepti Sharma in the T20 side. Mandhana has played 51 ODIs and 66 T20s for India besides a couple of test matches. She has a combined tally of 3,476 runs in T20s and ODIs. Australia's Alyssa Healy was chosen as the T20 Cricketer of the Year following her record-breaking 148 against Sri Lanka earlier this year. The ODI Cricketer of the Year honour went to Australia's Ellis Perry, who scored 441 runs and took 21 wickets. Gully Boy has crashed out of the Best International Feature Film race at the Oscars after the Academy unveiled shortlist for 9 categories. With Gully Boy out of the race, India's dry run at the Academy Awards continues as the country has never made it to the top 5 except 3 occasions. The last Indian film that made it to the final 5 was Ashutosh Gawarikar's Lagan in 2001. Mother India 1958 and Salam Bombay 1989 are the other 2 Indian movies to have made it to the top 5. The 92nd Oscars will be announced on 9th February next year. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India, US to hold 2+2 ministerial dialogue in Washington today. UN chief urges world to share refugee burden equitably. 16 civilians killed in Syria airstrikes. In Under-17 tournament, Indian women football team defeats Thailand, enters final. And Gully Boy out of Oscar race as Academy unveils shortlist for 9 categories. You were listening to International News, where we bring you news from across the globe. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more updates from across the world.